work very well, I mean, this mechanism. And also, I should note, taking this opportunity, another very important fact, that recently, so it was last June, an embassy of Austria was opened in Baku. So now we have also embassy of Austria in Azerbaijan, which will also definitely facilitate not only the development of political relations, but also economic relations. There is also a marketing bureau of WKO opened in Baku, so it's also started functioning. So this will also help develop our business relations.
Thank you, Mr. Aleskirov. You read in program that two people has joining us today, but they are still in Baku. This is Mr. Gülmüser Chabadov, Director of the European Headquarter of SOCA, but he has found with me in the morning, and he promises to visit the forum, Energy Forum, tomorrow. And the second person who has to join us this morning was Wolf-Dieter Diepholz, but he cannot come, he is still in Baku. And now I want to introduce you a little bit Mr. Magister Niklas Schmidmeier. He is responsible for business development and international projects at the famous Austrian and international law firm Lansky, Ganska & Partner, and Director of Business Development of the Austrian Azerbaijan Chamber of Commerce. And now please, Mr. Schmidmeier, you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you for the nice words towards the Chamber of Commerce. I have to give that back because we have really strong support from your embassy and from all the people working in the embassy. May I just quickly introduce what the Austrian Azerbaijani Chamber of Commerce is doing and what's standing behind it. It's a private initiative. It started in a cooperation between Lansky, Ganska & Partner. It's a mid-size European mid-size law firm. We're about 100 employees, about 45 lawyers sitting in Vienna, but not just Austrian lawyers. We have lawyers, as a colleague of mine is sitting here from Azerbaijan, we have lawyers from various jurisdictions sitting in Vienna, so from Russia, from Kazakhstan, from Azerbaijan, from Serbia, Bosnia, and so on and so forth. Together with OMV and Coop Himmelblau, there was the idea to found an Austrian Azerbaijani Chamber of Commerce as a private initiative, because we have seen, as you have seen now in the presentation as well, the growth rates. We have seen what is going on in Azerbaijan. There is a lot of opportunities for Austrian companies. I think in the past, a lot of European and international companies did business, especially in the oil area, oil-related business in Azerbaijan. Now it's time that especially companies from a country like Austria really step into this market. Because the non-oil sector, like tourism, like light industries, like agriculture, are very, very interesting industries and very interesting sectors to focus on. We started about 1 year ago. It's, as I said, a private initiative. It's a non-for-profit organization with the status as Chamber of Commerce, so official status from the Ministry of Economic in Austria. Usually we are in Baku every 4 to 6 weeks for a couple of days, a week or more, and try to find out and focus on these sectors, as I mentioned, to find opportunities for companies in Austria. It's a bit a different approach than the usual Chamber of Commerce has. We're not just inviting companies and they should find out what they're doing. We try to find the right access for, especially for mid-size companies, because the big players, they find the way, like OMV, and OMV doesn't need the Austrian Azerbaijani Chamber of Commerce. They're doing their own business, but we're very happy that we have them as founding members. Companies like Coop Himmelblau, which is in European size, quite big architectural bureau and company, but nevertheless, they start with 1-2 projects in this economy and try to get really in the industries and try to make business there. If you look to the figures, we think we had last year just 50 million euro trade volume between Austria and Azerbaijan, which is not really much. And maybe that's the reason why the Austrian Chamber of Commerce, the WKO, doesn't have a real representative there, because it's still managed from Russia, from Moscow, which I think personally is the wrong access to this issue, because you have to focus on the markets, you have to be there, and you have to meet the people and find really the access to the right decision makers, to the right companies, and to ministries. It's not so easy. That's in Austria the same. If you would like to get access to various industries, I think you have to make your way. As I said, we try to be there on a regular basis. After finding out the industries which might be interesting for Austrian companies, we usually take business people from Austria with us to introduce them to holding companies, to industries, to companies, mid-sized companies who would like to do business with Austrian companies. But vice versa. There are a couple of products, a couple of interesting companies in Azerbaijan. I think they have chances to come to Austria and have chances to come to the European market as well. So that's why I think, and that makes it a bit, maybe a similar situation for Azerbaijan and for Austria. That could be a hub in the one and the other region, and building a bridge between the area, because being similar size, being in a region where you can really get a gateway to Europe, or the other way through Austria, get a gateway to the region. So Austrian companies should not just focus on Azerbaijan and be afraid. It's a huge market, but the company is the same size as Austria. But nevertheless, if you look to the figures, you can see the potential. But there is behind that, it can be a gateway to the whole region. And we're taking some companies, we have some talks with companies, especially in the light industry, who would like to go to Azerbaijan to build their infrastructure in joint venture with local companies, with local technique, with local employees and employer, to then increase the area of doing business out of Azerbaijan, but with the main focus on the area. I think that's a solution which can be of interest for more companies than we have. We have 24 companies, Austrian companies, doing business in Azerbaijan. Seems a lot because it's 4,000 kilometers far away. But we have a direct flight 5 times a week from Austrian Airlines to Azerbaijan. So it's easy to reach. And if you really take the endeavor, and if you really take, because you don't have to take the risk, because as you pointed out, the structure is there. Azerbaijan has done a lot over the last 10, 15 years to develop the company and open it up to foreign investments and foreign companies. Then you really focus on it, take a step, and think about it doing business there. As I said, tourism, light industries, agriculture, especially in agriculture, packaging, food processing. There are sectors in Austria, I think, and companies in Austria which are very well experienced in doing that. And together with partners in Azerbaijan, and it's not really hard to find reliable partners in Azerbaijan for doing business. Because what we have seen, and I've been there 8 times now in the last year. I have to confess I've never been in the country that much during 1 year, that often than in Azerbaijan. I'm flying next week, I think, again. Was there, I think, 2 weeks, 10 days ago. And it's always a pleasure to be there. Because one thing I would like to add, people in Azerbaijan are really friendly. They're open to different cultures, open to different economic scenarios, and so on and so forth. And there's space, and there's really, I think, a warm welcome, especially for Austrian companies. If there are any questions regarding the Austrian Azerbaijani Chamber of Commerce, I don't want to bore you with details about that. You can ask me later on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Schmidmeier. Believe, Mr. Schmidmeier, for the friendly people in Azerbaijan. I'm engaged with an Azerbaijani girl, and they're all very friendly. I visit also Azerbaijan, and believe Mr. Schmidmeier, the people are very, very, very nice. Okay, to the next man on this podium, Mr. Rasim Saidov from Azerbaijan Academic Society. You study economy in Vienna. Why do you choose Austria for your further education and your studies? What goals do you have after your diploma in economy? And for the youth is the future, your opinion, your prospect, chances in economic relations between Austria and Azerbaijan. What are your requests, ambitions to this forum?
Hi, thank you for giving me this speech. I will introduce myself. I'm not only a student actually, I'm also representing the student society of Azerbaijani students in Vienna. So actually, why I have chosen Austria as a place to study. Because I had two chances at that time to go to Germany or to be in Austria. I've chosen Austria because the university I'm studying in, the Vienna University, I thought was the biggest German-speaking universities in the world, one of them. So, and one of my core languages, which I have learned when I was in school, was German. So I thought to choose the biggest German-speaking university is the best way. So regarding my future possibilities after getting this diploma, I think I'm studying investment banking, and I'm planning to work in a bank, and I was already invited to write Python Centralbank, and we'll see. So in a few months, probably I'll start. So I'd like to talk about our organization, our society. It's actually non-profit society, so we don't receive anything for our job. It's fully free. So actually, we are helping the new students who are coming from Azerbaijan. I have experienced also the problems many years ago when I just came to Austria, to Vienna, and to find the sources to get in touch with people, to get information. You know, it's hard. You need adaptation time, about 6 months, and and we are trying to avoid these problems with the new students, to help them to get closer to the information sources, and we also offer them help. For example, accommodation stuff. It's really a problem when you just can't come to the country and can't find anything. So actually, we already had a good networking experience before, and we have brought people together, and we were organizing some forums. We have organized different forums, and we are active participants in the different events, also which were done by the University of Azerbaijan in Vienna, and we have our last forum was organized 2 years ago. Biggest one was we brought the Azerbaijani students from Central and Eastern Europe together in Vienna. There were approximately 80 people there, but it was really fun to get in touch with the people and to know them, and to exchange the contacts, because we got information that different Azerbaijani groups also exist in different countries, which are also meeting and organizing those events. It was a great pleasure to know that. We are also my job in this society is I'm the social referent, and I'm doing I'm also contacting the people and just organizing and doing all this outbound job, you know, external job. And so we have also organized this, some meetings with the parliamentarians. I personally talked with some of them, and they took part in our forum. So it was also very good, I think. And what else to say? Actually, the society was founded in 2001 by a friend of ours. He's not anymore in the society. He left it because he's not a student anymore. So actually, it's a pleasure for me to meet the people, to meet the Austrian students or students from different countries. As I see, it's a great pleasure for me. Probably I have talked with some of them yesterday. I think in the future we could also invite them to our events and to get to know each other a bit more, you know, a bit more better. So thank you very much, Mr. Tichy, for giving me this speech, and thank you, Mr. Shamil Aliskero, for presenting Azerbaijan in such ways. Really appreciate. I really appreciate that, and thank you very much, Mr. Schmidt-Mann.
Yes, a big thank you to all my neighbors here on the podium. And